All right, we are live. We need to revisit, and I don't know, has the dust even settled yet? I need to go to the source. I need to go. I'm a fan of the Jays, but I don't cover them. I don't talk about them every single day, every single minute. But the Gate 14 podcast, Johnny, you do. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you sort of lead off the first minute or two of this pop-up live stream with your thoughts on, I guess, how yesterday, what you just feel today, the day after yesterday's shit show.
Honestly, shit show is a great way to describe it. There was the weird thing about yesterday was there was two different time spans in which I thought Shohei Ohtani was a Blue Jay. The first one was that tweet, or I guess the article from Dodger Nation, which he's doubling down on it, by the way. The writer of that is doubling down on that, which still gives me hope that Shohei is going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. But that tweet, and then when they came out after and said he has not decided yet, and Jeff Passan retweeted he hasn't decided yet, then I came back to earth. And then an hour after that, we had the Jon Morosi infamous tweet that he is on the airplane, which is absolutely bananas that was even clicked. That he clicked send on that. And then we had the Bob Nightingale body bagging him and saying that he is not indeed on a flight to Toronto. One of the weirdest days, honestly, of my life as a Toronto Blue Jays fan, because we're talking here about a generational talent, a once in a lifetime type of player. And for a 3-hour time frame yesterday, obviously split up, he was a Toronto Blue Jay. Do I still think he is going to be a Toronto Blue Jay? Yes. But those 3 hours yesterday were the greatest time of my life. Unbelievable. What a high that was.
The Otani era was incredible. Even if it only ends up being 3 hours, it was one hell of a ride for those 3 hours. I did not see yesterday, and I think we all can expect as we get closer to the finish line for this Ohtani sweepstakes that it's going to be chaos. So yesterday just kind of felt like, all right, this is probably how it's going to go. We're going to be tracking some plane cross country. We're going to have beat reporters throwing things out there. We're going to have national reporters going head to head. But I did not have, of all of the possibilities on my bingo board, the Dodgers Nation, right? One of the flag banner waving Dodgers hubs on social media to wave the white flag. I didn't see that coming. And I didn't see Bob Nightingale and Jon Morosi essentially in a death match. That's what yesterday brought to us when we look back at it, is just chaos. And I honestly, I don't think we're done with the chaos. I think there is more. Before we're finally done with this thing, I think there is more to be had with all of this. Let me ask you this. Will you trust a tweet, a source, a piece of information from Morosi ever again?
No, I truly can't. And this is my thing with this, right? It's like the only person I can really trust now, to be honest with you, is Jeff Passan. If Jeff Passan tweets it, that is when I am 100% in, that I'm 100% believing this. Jon Morosi, I don't know how MLB Network can allow this guy on the show. I don't know how Sportsnet can allow this guy on the show. I don't know how any network can allow this guy to come on a show after just blatantly just going against one of like the things I believe you learn in journalism school. He tweeted something with no confirmation, no source, and it's honestly one of the biggest news in the last 15 years, and he tweeted it with nothing.
Yeah.
It's wild. So I think there's going to be more crazy shit going on. But once Jeff Passan starts to kind of get in the mix and starts tweeting stuff like that, which he did say he does believe, I think the Jays make the most sense. So, once he Passan tweets it, then I'll be able to kind of have that sense of, all right, Shohei Ohtani's Toronto Blue Jay.
The most awkward moment will be when Jon Morosi gets a piece of information and he has to decide, do I tweet this out or do I not? Because, I mean, he's got sources that are going to tell him things. Is he going to sit on it? You first thing you said there, him on MLB Network. I was shocked that he was on at night in the evening when we were sort of wrapping up and winding down the whole Ohtani watch. Okay, it's over. He's in Southern California. He was on MLB Network that night. He's their go-to Monday through Friday, that morning hot stove show. He's who they lean on. And I really still think there's a good chance that on Monday, Mark Feinsand or Joel Sherman will be filling in for John Morosi, because he's going to be, he apologized for those that didn't see it. He did apologize. Yeah. He's still going to be too hot at the moment, too untrustworthy. Like, right. I mean, you're right about Passan being the guy to trust moving forward. You feel that it's Ohtani and Jays, like, or are you still thinking, like, do you think that the Dodgers are really out, or is that more of the misinformation? You feel comfortable about Ohtani and Blue Jays?
Well, I'm very comfortable on it. I'll be honest with you, man. Like, and I don't know if this is me being a delusional Toronto sports fan or just being a psychopath, because I've honestly played the scenario in my head a million times. I truly do think if he was going to be an LA Dodger, he would have already signed. It was the most obvious team to sign with. Obviously, they're going to offer him a boatload of money. They're the favorite. If he was going to the Dodgers, this would have already happened. I truly believe that. I really, truly do believe that. That's what's giving me hope here at the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, the gambling odds have changed drastically. The Toronto Blue Jays are close to being the favorite. A lot of these reporters are coming out saying that the Jays make the most sense. He's signing with the Jays. Where there is smoke, there's fire in this. I truly do believe that. And when you got guys like Jeff Passan even saying it makes the most sense, and you got a ton of other beat reporters saying the tweet Jeff Passan retweeted yesterday, the guy said it's not 100% confirmed he's going to Toronto. I'm not saying he's not, but it's not 100% confirmed yet. There's multiple reports of that, which give me a ton of hope. So I am honestly, truly holding on to the fact that I'll tweet this, and I don't care if I get old takes exposed. I 100% believe Shohei Ohtani will be a Toronto Blue Jay. I really do.
Getting back to yesterday and the ride, I want to know, let's do this. Let's think about this from an OPS plus scenario where 100 is the baseline, and you can go over 100 if you're higher than league average, or your emotions are running higher than average, and you can go below 100 if your emotions are running below average. On that scale, where were you? Where did you go emotionally when Dodgers Nation put their piece of information out? Where did you go to?
Okay, first thing, I was on 100. I work for a content company, so I went around and I was like, holy shit. But what really did it for me, what really fucked me up, was when MLB trade rumors tweeted it. Yes. They rarely will get into that like fake source game and all that type of stuff. So when they tweeted it, I was like, holy shit, let's fucking go. And by the way, I'm just looking at the chat here. Like, people are saying Dodgers make the most sense. They don't have a pitching staff. They have two pitchers, three pitchers. And I'm not saying this like as an outsider. The Toronto Blue Jays do make the most sense. Team Gold Glove winner last year. The team had the best defense last year in baseball. Top 3 pitching staff, top 3 lowest DRAs in the major leagues last year. And I mean, obviously, one bat away from being good. And we had down years from Vladdy, Kirk, Springer. Everyone was terrible last year, and they won 89 games. How do these Americans think the Toronto Blue Jays don't make sense? It's crazy, man. My DMs are a goddamn cesspool right now. I'm getting just all Americans coming at me, the entire DMs of it. I just want them to sign already, because I have bookmarked like 50 people, and I will be coming for all of them if he signs in Toronto.
It's been crazy. I believe that, and I've said it a few times, that there's want versus need. The Dodgers want Ohtani, and if they don't get him, then they move on to the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. They want him. The Dodgers will still likely win the National League West and make a World Series run next year, whether Ohtani's on that team or not. So this is for the Dodgers. The Blue Jays need him. Where the Blue Jays are headed, their track, the season last year, and the team as it is, the Blue Jays, in my opinion, as a Blue Jay fan, the Blue Jays want and need him. Dodgers really just, in my opinion, want him. I will say I went to a 200 level when I saw the Dodgers Nation article drop, and then the Bob Nightingale. Let's revisit that moment for a moment. Bob Nightingale moment. Again, if we're going on the 100 scale, where were you on the emotions plus? I think I probably dropped to like a 25. It would have been a OPS plus of 25. If you would figure out when you saw that tweet from Bob Nightingale, where did you go?
My heart dropped. I'll be honest. Like, I don't even know really how to describe that feeling. I guess only really Giants fans can I back up or understand how I felt when I did see that tweet. Because in my mind, right, like everyone's watching the flight tracker. Obviously, I see it. He's flying over Guelph, which is where I live in Ontario. I don't know if I should have said that, but whatever. He's flying over Guelph. I'm seeing the tracker. Everyone's watching the plane, taking pictures of this. I have people DMing me that are pilots sending me pictures of his plane on the tarmac. People are DMing me this. So I was all in, and then I see the Bob Nightingale tweet, and my heart just sunk. I was like, all right. Although it doesn't mean he's not going to come here.
Right.
It was just like yesterday. It was Friday. It was Friday night. You could have got after it with all your buddies, had some beers, celebrated Shohei Ohtani being a Blue Jay. We're all planning that stuff, planning a Gate 14 podcast. And then Bob Nightingale said he's not on the plane. And then my heart just sunk. I was at like a 10 after he said that.
I think that was one of those moments. We were live for 8 hours yesterday on the YouTube channel, and we are live now. So thank you everybody that has popped in live. It is a quick one. We're probably going to be out of here in like 5 or 10 minutes. But I wanted to do this live so you guys could come back in and react. This is sort of think of this as like the day after the day after Bloody Mary from yesterday's All Night Rager. So I think moving forward and just thinking about it now, looking at the reaction that we've seen from the Jim Bowdens of the world and Shai Davidi and all these other reporters, you were on it last night talking about it on social media. And I think we need to talk about it and put it out now. The holier than now, the rear view mirror, the 2020 vision that provides for these guys to be out there dragging people through the mud. I'm sick of it. Do you want to talk more about that too?
It's absurd. I mean, first of all, Shai Davidi, dude, right? Your network moved a show, a 5 o'clock primetime hockey show, which is the biggest sport here in Canada. No disregarding that, especially in the offseason. They moved the show to later so you could get Blair and Barker on at 5 o'clock p.m., right? Like, and then again, Sportsnet retweets the John Morosi tweet that he is on the plane. And then we have an article from Shai Davidi saying, we can't believe this cesspool of misinformation and we can't just dive in and believe everything we read on social media. Your network was the one pushing this. Yeah. Major League Baseball was the one pushing this. I don't know how to say it. BBWAA, yeah. BBWAA, a writer for that, like someone that votes in the Hall of Fame came out. If we can't believe these people, who the fuck can we believe? Right. It's crazy. And then Bowden, by the way, one of the biggest fucking clowns on the planet. Bowden is coming at us saying, oh, like we were flight tracking, all this type of stuff. You tweeted about the flight tracking. You tweeted about watching the flights. Like all the reporters were tweeting about watching the flights. And now all of a sudden, once it comes out as fake news, they come at the fans for believing national writers that work for MLB Network. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it really also should have been a for those guys a self look in the mirror moment. Like, okay, I got these sources because we're relying on them. Look at yourself at this moment. Don't try to make it look like you're up on this mountain and everybody is down below and you're better than anybody else, because this came, like you said, this came from you and the others like you that are on top of the mountain and giving us information. Look at yourself, look at your own sources, and maybe we can go from there. Let's give you, I want you to tell people about the pod. Those of you that are here, we have almost 1,000 people. I appreciate you all coming in. Again, this is a quick pop-up with Johnny from the Gate 14 podcast. Wanted to get to the Blue Jays. Maybe at some point later today, I'll get to the Dodgers as well to try to get both sides of this thing. Look, at the end of the day, he might sign with the GD Tampa Bay Rays for all we freaking know. Okay. It is completely at this point a who knows situation. But tell people about the pod, what you guys maybe have cooking, what's coming up, where they can find it, all that good stuff before we get out of here.
Yeah, it's Gate 14 podcast. Listen, I'm not to pump my own tire. We've worked our ass off for it. We just we're number 1 on the charts in Canada, so we've been grinding away,
Awesome.
man, for a year and a bit now. But you can find us on Twitter, YouTube, everything. It's Gate 14 podcast. We've been lucky. We've been privileged to have tons of Blue Jays on the podcast. Chris Bassett, Eric Swanson, Danny Jansen, David Schneider, Ernie Clement. All these guys have been lucky to come, or we've been lucky to have them on the show and stuff like that. So we kind of just approach it in obviously the different ways than journalists approach it. We're just a common fan covering our favorite baseball team. And obviously some of our takes or majority of our takes are very pro Toronto Blue Jay. But yeah, it's just like it's a podcast for the common fan, by the common fan. And we like to create a different kind of angle for Toronto Blue Jays fans and honestly a lot of baseball fans. So that's kind of where you can find us there. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on this, man. And like I said, I will say this to everyone in the chat. You guys could tweet at me. Shohei Ohtani is going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. And all of you who tweeted at me, who are in this chat, I've screenshotted this chat. Keep that same energy. If he is a Toronto Blue Jay, keep that same energy. DM me. I want that same energy if he's a Toronto Blue Jay, because listen, people are coming at me hard here, but they're going to hide. Don't be one of those guys that hides when the thing that you say doesn't happen happens. All right? I love it. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you having me on this unbelievable show, massive audience. So it means a lot to me. So I really do appreciate it.
Johnny, thank you. Again, if you are a Blue Jays fan, you should be subscribed to the Gate 14 podcast. Check out the YouTube channel too. Make sure you get it wherever you get your podcasts. If you are a baseball fan and you want to just keep your finger on the pulse of the Toronto Blue Jays, maybe you're not a Jays fan, but you want to keep your finger on the pulse. He's talking about guests. Make sure to check them out again. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and their podcast. Guys, that is going to do it for us on this quick pop-up live stream to sort of revisit a little bit of yesterday. I appreciate all of you popping in last minute, last second, no notice. Thank you guys, Ballcap Nation. I salute you. Thank you guys for coming in. I'll catch you next time.